Hello everyone, you are all welcome to lecture number 772, and today's topic is the discovery of antibiotics. It's a very interesting topic, and antibiotics, the word is derived from Greek. Anti means against, bio means living organism, bacteria. So chemical substance which is capable of inhibiting or stopping the growth of living organism like bacteria is called antibiotics, and it has long history, a very interesting history. The ancient civilization like Egyptian, Indian and Greek, they were using fungus and some medicinal plants to treat the infections. And the best example which is given in 1700, in Poland they started producing the bread, wax mixed with spider web, and this spider web was containing some fungal spores, and that's why when that bread was used to treat the injury and other bacterial infection was very effective. But they were not capable to isolate and purify the active constituent and principle from that fungal growth. So in 1928, Alexander Fleming, a Scottish physician, he was working in St. Mary Hospital in London, and he was working mainly on influenza virus. And very interesting thing is that many people may not be knowing that it was accidental in the sense that Alexander Fleming, he was preparing some culture and he was careless. Sorry to say, sometimes it comes out of this because of his carelessness. So he was careless and he left that culture in his petri dish in his lab, and he had 2 weeks holiday. He went to enjoy the holiday, Alexander Fleming. And after 2 weeks time, after holiday, when he came and opened his lab, and he found that in that petri dish there is growth, there is fungal growth, mold growth, and that growth is destroying the other living organism, bacteria. And then he published the paper in 1929 about this antibiotic, and he named penicillin. This penicillin came into action, it was in 1942 when they started treating the patient, and at that time it was so helpful to treat lot of injured people, because by that time the World War II was going on. So it was a big help, and even today it is a big help, antibiotics in Syria and Iraq war, where thousands of the people are seriously injured and they are given antibiotics. And this accidental research is not new. In 1888, in the late 18, your photochemical reaction was because of accident. The person who was doing the research, he was mixing the reactants and he was not getting the product. So one day he left side by a window, and next day his friends told that there is some product, and in the beaker and conical flask he found that precipitation is there. Then he thought that he was excited. Again he started mixing this and that. He could not get. Again he left that thing nearby window. Next day he got the product. So he, at that time in 1888, he thought that maybe some supernatural power is doing this reaction in the night. Some Satan, some other people. So he requested some of his good friends who were very strong to sit for whole night with him. He was a Russian scientist, and whole night nothing happened. Early in the morning, when sunlight started falling on that conical flask where the reaction mixture was there, it started reaction. And then the new branch of chemistry came. That was called photochemistry. Photochemical reactions. Photo means light. In presence of light, whatever reaction is there, that is called photochemical reaction. And what branch of chemistry is dealing? That is called photochemistry. And this antibiotics is also a big chapter in medicine to treat the patient today. Most of the treatments are done by antibiotics, except virus. It is destroying and killing all living organisms, bacteria. So these two are very important accidental. And another new accidental research came, that was in 2004. The discovery of graphene. It was in the lab, they were not working for that, they were working on graphite. Physicists. And they got single carbon layer, the strongest material on this earth. And they gave the name graphene. So graphene is having lot of, we can say, uses in computers. And for penicillin, 2 Nobel Prize were given. One Nobel Prize, Alexander Fleming, he shared with China, one man and another, a gentleman, for discovery of the penicillin as antibiotic, and the other Nobel Prize was given in chemistry, that was in 1964, to establish the structure of penicillin. So this penicillin antibiotic is having long history and very interesting history, and this fungal growth is different from enzyme. It is not like enzyme, and it is also different from yeast, because yeast is a unicellular and your mold is multicellular growth. So this is what about the discovery of antibiotics, penicillin, and at that time the definition was given that the chemical substance which are produced by living organisms and they are capable of destroying and killing the bacteria, they are called antibiotics. But today there are a lot of antibiotics. They are synthetic and also synthetic ones. So today's definition is more comprehensive and complete in the sense that now we are giving the definition that the chemical substances which are capable of killing the bacteria and living organisms, that is called antibiotic. So under the heading of discovery of antibiotics, number 1 point, I have already explained all these points. Number 1, many ancient cultures, including those in Egypt, Greece and India, discovered the useful properties of fungi and plants in the treatment of infection. And this treatment worked because many organisms, including mold, naturally produce antibiotic substances. So it was working, those plants as well as fungi, and they were producing chemical substances, and those chemical substances were playing the role of antibiotics. Number 2, in 17th century, Poland wet bread wax mixed with spider webs, which contain fungal spores to treat wounds. So it was in 17th century they were using this method, that preparing that bread wax mixed with spider webs, and that spider web was containing the spores of fungal and to treat wounds. So the idea of using mold as a form of medical treatment was recorded by John Parkinson. John Parkinson was at the time the top ranked botanist, and his lot of books are there where he has mentioned a lot of things what happened during that time. So it is also mentioned in John Parkinson's book. And then Fleming performed the first clinical trial penicillin on nasal antrum, that is called sinusitis. So it was his first clinical trial, and that was in 1928. And of course he has published the paper in 1929 on this. Mold. What is mold? Is a fungus that grows in the form of multicellular filaments. That is mold. And the fungi that can adopt a single cell growth are called yeasts. Number 3. While working at St. Mary's Hospital, London, a Scottish physician Alexander Fleming was the first to experiment and discover the Penicillium mold, and which secretes antibacterial substances. So that is Alexander Fleming was the first man who discovered that from Penicillium mold some substances are produced and they are antibacterial. I have already told you his history, how he got this while he was working in the lab. So number 4, the antibacterial chemical substance which was produced by Penicillium un was named penicillin by Alexander Fleming, and it was in the year 1928. It took 16 years to improve the production of penicillin in better way. This successful treatment of Henry Lambert from meningitis in the year 1942. From there the breakthrough came about the use of penicillin and to treat as antibiotics, proved to be critical moment in the medical history of uses of penicillin. Fleming, Florey and Chen, these 3 scientists, they shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in the year 1945, and for the discovery of penicillin. Then Dorothy Hodgkin received in 1964 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the determination of the structure of penicillin. Shortly, S-H-O-R-T, you're right. Shortly after discovery of penicillin, there were reports of penicillin resistance in many bacteria, and antibiotic resistance continued till today. Actually, even today, there is a very common saying that some of the bacteria, they are resistant to antibiotics, and there are some problems which people are not telling. For example, once the physicians are prescribing the medicine, antibiotic, broad spectra, anytime, tetracycline, erythromycin, anyone, for maybe for 1 week, and every 6 hourly, 500 mg. So they will take for maybe 2-3 days time, and once they see that their temperature and everything is okay, they will stop. So it is incomplete treatment of antibiotics. That is more dangerous to the person who is under treatment. Once you are taking antibiotics, please make sure that you are completing your full course of 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, whatever is prescribed by advised by your doctor. So in that case also, once you are stopping the antibiotics just after 2-3 days time, once you feel that you are recovered, again there will be reoccurring of the infection, and then you will say that it is resistance. So that is also happening nowadays. Number 5, antibiotics are chemically defined substances of biological origin produced by microorganisms. So the first definition came that they are the chemical substance. These antibiotics are produced by living organisms, and they are chemically defined as a biological origin produced by microorganisms, which without possessing any enzymatic character. So sometimes people are confused of antibiotics and enzymatic character. Enzymatic character, enzymatic catalyst, they are different. They are complex proteinoidal substance. And here, these substances which are produced by the living organisms, which can stop the growth of bacteria and kill the bacteria, destroy the bacteria, they are different from enzymatic action. These two are different. Character inhibit in a small concentration the growth of bacteria. Since nowadays semi-synthetic and synthetic antibiotics are also available, so the original definition has been modified and to include these substances as well. So in this way we are saying that all those chemical substances, whether they are synthesized or produced by living organisms, they are capable of inhibiting or killing the bacteria and microorganisms, is called antibiotics. So with this I will start today, and this chapter is very interesting and very important for pharmacy and chemistry students, because we are living in the age of antibiotics. Time may come when we will be living in the age of vaccine. That time is coming, DNA vaccine of 4th, 5th generation. But today it is all, we are treating with antibiotics, all the bacteria, microorganisms, living organisms, not a virus. Virus cannot be treated. And in the next lecture I am going to discuss the manufacture of these antibiotics and their generic name, their formula is very, very interesting names will be there. Tetracycline, erythromycin, amoxicillin, so many others, and how they are effective. So with this I will stop. Thank you very much for watching the lecture.